Hello, all. Welcome to the second episode of Yeah, I've Played Heavy Rain. Last time around, we got through Prologue 1, Prologue 2, and Chapters 1 through 5 of the 52 parts of Heavy Rain. We're breaking it down. We're doing about 5 or 6 chapters at a time. And today, we're going to start things off with Chapter 6. Of course, we actually did Chapter 6 last time. It's Chapter 7.
We started with Chapter 7.
My name is Matt Hall.
I'm Andrew Taylor.
And I'm Jordan Hill.
And
we are
Hidden Machine.
Matt
I
hated
barely
that.
got it. I said, him. No hard syllables, only vowel sounds. So chapter 7 is, should we recap a little bit last time around? Basically, we met Ethan Mars, who I realized, I keep thinking of Veronica Mars. I think it was a UPN show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was
or WB, I think became UPN, or UPN became WB over time. But
and then that became the CW.
The CW, yes.
Yes.
Wow.
It's an old people show, right?
I think it's for
Young
queer
adults.
teens.
Yes, I would say that's the target
It
audience.
seems like a lot of the...
From the 80s, though, right? It's older.
No, I think it's from like 2015.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Really? What?
Yeah, it's not that old at all.
What are you thinking of?
Is it a revival of an older series? 'Cause I feel like I've always
could
been
be.
aware of Veronica Mars. Like,
Well, you're not that old.
I'm not that old, but I'm older than 2015.
Whoa, Jesus. Thanks, Bing.
Let's look at Veronica Mars and get some
I
Rule
looked at
34.
Veronica Mars and it was only porn.
Hell yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm
It
familiar.
premiered in 2004 and ran until 2007.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I had a revival. I think it got brought back onto like Hulu or something.
Oh, okay.
It got brought back onto Hulu.
I must have been seeing that as a kid on like the TV guide and just assuming. Anyway.
This game is not about Veronica Mars.
The fourth season opens in 2019.
What?
12 years after the series finale.
What the fuck? How'd they
That's
do
nice.
that?
That's nice that can happen for people who like a thing that, they just announced they announced a while back, but the trailer came out for the new Kids in the Hall season. I'm a little skeptical, but...
They also brought back, now I can't remember the name of it, of course. Move On.
I hope they bring back Wife Swap.
Oh, that'd be great.
Love that
I loved
show.
Wife Swap. Wife Swap was fucking the best.
I've been watching that recently, and the thing I don't get is like why when the swapped wives fuck the new husbands, why did they never show that?
They don't
No.
show that part. I always thought it was.
I thought that was weird. They sleep in the
kinda
same bed, you know what I
lackluster.
mean? And obviously you're swapping the wives.
Yeah,
I've
that's
been on
what that
Pornhub,
means.
you know what I mean?
Like-
If you type in wife
Same
swap,
thing.
Yeah.
I like Extreme Home Makeover.
I hated
They should
that.
bring that back.
I hated that show.
Yeah.
Don't look into what happened to all those people after.
I had to have Ty Pennington walk me through 8 hours of Sears training when I was 16.
That's
so
right.
On video?
on video.
No, he was there.
It was horrible.
I could see him being there as for a store opening or something.
Right? No.
as part of his,
This was I was sat alone in a.
He said, "Move that poorly constructed scrim." Sears at your local mall.
But anyway, last time around we met Ethan Mars, we met his wife Grace.
Yes.
And their children, Sean and Jason.
Jason.
Of course, Jason was killed
Obliterated.
by a driver.
He got blasted by.
Ethan did try to protect him, but apparently it just didn't work.
Well, he did it. He did it the wrong way. When you jump in front of a car, you're supposed
You're
to put
wrong.
yourself. I am wrong. Oh, okay.
You're
Sad.
fucking wrong.
I'm wrong. Damn it.
He did it the right way.
Oh, okay. I thought he put Jason into the car, basically.
No.
Okay.
He didn't. He did it the right way. He took the full brunt of the impact on his back and shielded Jason, but it didn't work. And
I
then
don't know how that didn't work, but I wasn't there.
You hit the concrete hard enough and you're a child, your head will fucking...
yeah, it could have just been,
They got like jelly head.
the details.
Yeah,
don't,
your neck's not strong. You haven't been to enough metal shows yet.
No.
No. Anyway, Ethan is in a coma for 6 months. When he wakes up, his wife has left him. His remaining son, Sean, hates
Not
him.
a huge fan. Doesn't hate him as much
He
depending on the
hates
decisions you
everything.
Yeah.
make.
You can
He
do so-
seems sad.
We also,
Sean is, he's disgruntled. He's not a happy kid.
yeah, well,
He says, my brother died.
basically watched his brother get killed in public. And then his dad may have been dead. He did, it's like 6 month coma.
For a hot minute, yeah.
Feel like he
and
might
then-
not come out
He
of
was
it.
there, so Sean did witness this.
Yeah, and his mom
Yeah.
is like, "We're
I'm out.
leaving, Sean. We're leaving."
Okay.
And so Sean's all upset. He's not doing well in school because Ethan's a bad dad. Ethan's very depressed. He's living in a very rundown, shit-ass apartment. And we also meet Detective Scott
I've lived
Shelby.
in that apartment.
Very similar.
Well, there's a serial killer named the Origami Killer.
Origami killer.
Or some characters say Origami Killer, but a lot of people say Origami in this game.
Nobody says origami.
Not yet.
Waiting for that.
We have about 36 more chapters.
Yeah, so it could happen.
Holding out hope.
Detective Scott Shelby is on the case. He's investigating. He's interviewing parents of the victims. All the
Yes.
victims are children. We also met FBI profiler Norman Jayden, who uses a special cyberpunk device to scan reality.
Very normal man.
And that's where we're at right now. So Chapter 7, Welcome, Norman, is where we're going to start today. And so basically this
Series
starts out...
of very natural events, very organic human interactions coming up.
Yeah.
Very normal. Everything
Norman's a very awkward man.
Well,
so far.
We'll get into some of the details, but essentially it opens up and Norman is, he's an FBI profiler sent to help out with this case. There's been a string of murders over several years.
But yeah, it's been
every
3
fall.
or 4 years.
Yeah, and there's multiple victims within a season.
Because
Yes.
they usually take place within the fall, like you said.
Yeah.
When it's
Yeah, it's always
raining.
October, I believe.
He
around
said
there.
fall, but
oh, okay.
Doesn't matter.
it's okay.
We're all the
I don't
same.
want to give Matt any credit.
You looked right at me and like you said that, and I was like,
I thought you did.
no.
You guys sound remarkably similar.
Well, hopefully the listeners can figure out who's who based on our voices alone, because I know they're not watching.
No, I never.
That's why it's hashtag listenable, baby.
So Norman Jayden's been sent to this police department in the city to help out with the case. He's trying to profile the killer. And in case anyone doesn't know, this is similar to like what the Silence of the Lambs. Like Clarice is like a profiler. Or, it's someone who tries to go, okay, this is the type of person we're looking for, and it helps you narrow things down.
Likely an extremely well-trained and experienced person.
Yeah, have you ever seen the show Mindhunter on Netflix? Mind Freak. Chris ain't Mindhunter. It's basically about like the formation of that kind of wing of the FBI being like, oh, these murderers, maybe there is a psychological aspect, maybe there's a mental thing going on here, maybe they're not just deranged.
Did you guys see the new Batman movie?
No.
Batman? No, I have not seen
Our
it.
friend of the show, Pat Benny, said it sucked.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised.
I thought it was really, really good.
I texted him
Paul
like
Dano,
4
a good
times
Riddler.
after that. And he didn't
Oh,
explain
yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's, basically there's a similar thing with like a profiling sort of thing going on.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
I'm just setting the stage for a critique of a later part that I have.
Okay.
Just given the background of what these people do and how objectively useful they seem to be during investigations, a tremendous asset that you're receiving from a government.
Well, I will
it's,
say, we'll
not
get
always
into it,
great.
but also, historically, all departments of law enforcement depicted in media and also seemingly in real life all fucking hate each other and are like, that's my stuff, don't do that.
It is the reason every real life serial killer has been able to last as long as they did.
Because discourse within...
Because departments wouldn't communicate with each other. Like specifically in California and LA, like in LA County, departments wouldn't communicate with each other because they were all competing with each other. And
Yeah,
so that's why
we won't be the guy who wins.
yeah, that's why like Ted Bundy, what's his
People are
name?
dying.
The Night Stalker.
People
you know what
die
I mean?
anyway.
Yeah.
Idiot.
You're right. I didn't think
Fuck
of that.
you.
Everybody.
You're a bad cop.
You think someone's not going to die?
Bad cop.
So last time around, I was saying Ari. It's Airy. It's pronounced Airy. And
Airy?
you said augmented reality. It's added reality
Oh,
interface.
fuck off.
Okay.
We finally got the acronym?
I looked it up.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
What is it?
Airy.
Yeah, but what reality?
Augmented. Or
It's
no.
added reality interface.
Because it does just kind of add to your reality.
Right, because
That's what AR is. It's augmented reality.
but it's not necessarily an augmented reality thing. It does, as you see in this chapter, it does also work secondarily as a full VR headset. It does both AR and VR. So you combine those into added reality.
Right.
Of course, it's very obvious. what they're going for.
We want it to be ARI, but we can't. But it's not only augmented. It's like added. Fine.
Get over it.
Norman is waiting to talk to the police captain. I think his name's Blake. No, Blake's the asshole.
Blake is the
Blake's
asshole.
His
His
Perry.
name is Perry. Yeah, Captain Perry.
Dr. Perry.
Captain Perrier. Did you guys get bored and play with your ball?
I did. I played with my
sick
ball.
So, yeah, but I also...
Played a little wall ball.
I like there's a guy goes,
Yeah, if you do it for like 3 or 4 times, because you can
Yeah.
stop whenever you want to, it seems like. But he's like,
yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
which implies we were probably kind of right last episode in the sense that like this cyberpunk technology is not available to like
super
the
prevalent.
general public.
Yeah,
because-
and
Because he would have like at least understood that he was like playing like a mobile game or something.
Shortly
you know what
after
I mean?
this, we see
Right.
Scott Shelby's car, and it looks like it's straight out of the, 60s?
Yeah, it looks like a car like
50s or 60s.
Yeah, 50s
It's
or
a
60s
he
for sure.
drives a classic car.
Yeah, like he looks like he's existing in that era still.
It seems like he doesn't want to let go of like
Classic
Dick Tracy.
50s. Yeah, I think he probably has his like little Dick Tracy watch.
What's the fucking, what's that classic black and white movie, like the most famous movie of all time?
Casablanca.
Is that the one?
Either Casablanca
know.
or
Have you seen it?
Where
Gone
everything-
with the
I haven't
Wind?
seen it. Where
Let's not talk about it.
I'm not talking about it. Everything has that like kind of look to it, where it's like yeah, we're talking about the trench coats, the hats.
Oh, Casablanca is like a
that-
classic one, but that's probably every movie from back then.
Right.
Yeah, that was
That's what
an
I'm
enormous genre.
It was
Casablanca
as
is a big
if-
one though.
As if Scott Shelby watched that and he was like, "Yes,
Talking about just the film noir genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game L.A. Noire,
L.A.
Scott
Noire.
Shelby's favorite game.
He's like, "Ah, man, it's fucking
Style actually predates that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking A.
How could they have it before
20.
if they made it after?"
So one thing I noticed is, you're waiting for Blake, and Blake comes out and he's like, "Hey,
You're waiting for
cancel all
Perry.
my meetings." I'm sorry, Perry. Waiting for Perry. It's one of my
Waiting
favorite
for
plays.
Perry.
I should know. So you're waiting for Perry, and you talk to his assistant for a moment. And she's like, yeah. She seemed very annoying.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
seemed very snide. Maybe that's just how she was animated.
No, she seems like that too.
And she's like,
Because
"You
there's
can
there's
donate to my
another
fucking
interaction
game."
you have kind of
Right.
later where she's like, "You gonna donate?"
Yes, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But so Perry comes out. I noticed immediately the hair on his model looked great, and I was like, a lot of the hair in this game looks very good.
The hair looks really good, and the textures of like the clothing looks really good. There's
Yeah.
a scene with Ethan where he's wearing like a leather jacket,
You're right.
and it looks fucking real good.
Yeah.
But like some of the face details are like they're pretty good, but like
Yeah.
it's still a little. It still like seems to be behind like the technology they were
I
using
really
for
think
hair. And
it reminds me of, maybe I said this before, it reminds me of a fighting game where they only have 2 characters on screen generally at a time, so they have a lot more resources to make them look amazing. But I think where the game shows its age is in those animations and there's just some like boxiness to the animations rather than the actual visuals.
Also, a lot of the backgrounds, like I think you pointed out
A
yesterday,
lot of repeating elements.
like
Holy cow.
they'll just put like the same like NPC
police
like
character
sitting
model,
next
yeah.
to each other, and it's like, oh,
I know
come
they
on.
can't make 50 unique models, but at least like make them
You could mix and
modular.
match the elements a little
Yeah.
bit better
Yeah.
because they do to a degree. They'll be like, this guy's shirt is a slightly darker shade of blue.
But there's so many times that, like the same man, like specifically one of the black police officers in there, like he was just right next to himself like twice, and then there was another
I think
twins.
there's a third in the background.
Yeah, and then that same model I see
they're
later.
triplets, and they all just work together. Okay, they all get into the
Oh,
same
well, that's
profession.
really cool. That's rare. We should celebrate that.
That is pretty. Yeah.
So and Perry's like, I'm doing the press conference in a minute. Can you tie my tie? Did you tie his tie for
Yeah, I
us?
tied
so
his tie.
fucking
It was a really
weird.
the weirdest part of the interaction was like I nailed tying the tie too, didn't miss a step, and he was like, "That was a great tie, great knot." You know what I
messed
mean?
up one, but then I nailed
But
it.
like I fucking afterwards, you get done tying his tie, and you're like right in his face, and you go,
What the hell was
"Okay."
that?
So and like then he's like, "All right, I'm getting ready to go," and you're like right,
You're so
like
close to- there's like a
you're like
foot
right
between you.
here. You're like you just finished tying his tie, so
It'd be
you're
weird.
here, and then suddenly you're just like, and you haven't moved,
Yeah, and you're like,
and you're not like asking for something. You know what I
No.
mean? Like
You also, so you're at the department. You're just introducing yourself. You
Yes.
know. I think
is
her
what
name's
I would
Carol.
who?
The assistant.
I didn't write her
can't
name
remember
down.
her name. But she'll show you to your office in a moment. But when you tie your tie, and he's talking about the case, and he's like, "Look, I'm here to do the FBI profiling job. Anything else really isn't my business." And,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Yeah, I guess you're right." Like, Jaden is like kind of like curt with him in a
Brash,
weird way,
yeah.
where it seemed
Yeah.
very odd. And then like, just like when he first got done talking to Blake, he's like, "That Perry's a strange fellow." Like, he said, both, yeah, I mean, this is your second time taking the role of Norman Jayden, and both people that he meets, he's like, that guy's weird. And it's like, you're weird.
He's
the weird one. Do you
because
not get that?
They're pretty normal, like, archetypes to a degree. You know what I mean? Like, Perry and Blake are both like, Perry just seems like a guy, you know what I mean, who has a lot going on. And Blake just seems like an asshole detective, like an asshole cop.
Cop.
I wouldn't say he's strange.
No.
I would be like, he's rude.
Yeah, that guy's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Or like Perry's like, oh, Perry seems like he's got a lot, you know what I mean, on his plate.
That's,
you know what I mean?
You're weird.
But
Yeah, right. You're like,
meanwhile,
you're
Norman
like,
Jayden's doing this weird hand thing. He like ties
he ties his tie and then he's like, put your hand in it.
what the hell? He's so weird.
So after this, you can go to your office or you can go to the press conference. Did you guys visit the press conference?
I sat down for like literally 10, 15 seconds and then stood up and
totally
left.
blew this. So because like
You blew it? You blew what?
this.
There was no trial.
So those were the two things. Yeah, I know.
Right, so I'm saying,
So this is a major complaint that I've had for this game so far is that there's
I was going to play and I just dropped soup on my crotch.
Oh no.
I had the soup in both hands and then I like go to grab the controller. I forgot I was holding it.
I don't understand. Burned my balls off.
They're gone.
So there's a lot of things that are timed in this game. They're like timed events. Like the meeting is a timed event. I got there too late and
It's like, yes, well, it's more like stuff is happening in real time.
In real time.
Yeah, to a degree,
That's
yeah.
not a better way to put it.
It's not like
It's not like Quantum Break where you can just wander around.
And wait until
Or
that's
Control
fine.
where it's like, oh, or they're like, you got to get over here, and you're like, yeah, but I could really get over there in like 10 minutes and it
Yeah.
wouldn't change anything.
well, okay, I mean, you could, but it's kind of rude.
So there's I find there to be conflicting conveyance in this game because there are things that are happening in real time and you will miss them. I missed the meeting. I just missed the meeting. But there are other things where it encourages you, explore your environment, make use of everything, read all the thoughts that your character is having. So I never know which thing to do. Either I have to go do the real-time thing
It doesn't say read all the thoughts on it.
No, you don't have to.
You kind of can't.
I speed run the thoughts.
Exactly, yeah, and I guess that's fine, but it may be coming hot off the heels of all the Remedy games where you are like encouraged, except for Max Payne 3, to literally explore everything and find all this shit. It clashes for me, and I'm like, I'm fucking trying to do the thing that you told. I'm trying to look at the shit in the room.
I don't know if this is helpful hearing it this late, but
my final piece is that is extremely conducive to replayability, and I think that's exactly what this game is designed for. So I understand.
But yeah, because you are basically trying to, between the thoughts, the conversations, the
thoughts.
exploration,
The ladies.
right, the exploration and the sort of like QTE stuff, you can't always keep straight like getting all four of those elements perfect every time you play through a level.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like you really just gotta like do the best you can on any one of those things. So you may have missed the press conference, like you went and did something else, and it's like
I was exploring. I didn't get anything.
oh.
I was walking.
You don't
I looked
really-
inside of cells where there's just a guy like in the drunk tank.
I went and I sat down for about 15 seconds. They got to the questions. I stood up and left.
Okay.
I went and he was like, I'm thirsty. So I went and I found the water cooler and I
water
got a
cooler.
drink. And then
That's so funny.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
should
get
go to
I
the
didn't get
office.
that.
you didn't get that?
I went and sat and I like leaned up against a chair like really close to someone else and I watched the whole press conference.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes.
I
Oh,
wanted
Jesus.
to-
It's like
yeah.
a full like
That's where I was like, I didn't
all the
wanna-
reporters ask questions and they talk about it and they
It seemed like that's where it was headed, and I was like, not
I had
what
a
I'm
weird
in for.
kind of, I don't know if it was a glitch, but as I was walking up to it, you know, you get the stereo or the 3D audio is happening, so I start hearing it get louder and louder at the meeting, and there was a reporter saying, "Please, one more question, just one more question," and it seemed like he was going to be allowed to ask that question. I walked in, and then the scene was over. And
Right, he's
we
saying
all-
one more
we all
question.
just-
That's the end of the conference.
that is the final thing. He doesn't get answered.
No, yeah, they're begging for more
Oh,
questions and
okay.
then he's like,
All right,
"We're done. Sorry."
Then I misunderstood it. It sounded like he was being given because I couldn't see in there. It sounded like they were like, "Okay, what's your last question?"
No, they're just like there was like 3 or 4 people like being like, "Hey, no, please, no, one more,
Right,
please,
yeah.
Christ, I want to keep going. I'm
not done.
I need the scoop."
And I do. There are a lot of sequences where, and we'll get into some a lot actually in this sequence that we played, where you have to like it gives you like either your thoughts or the things that you can say, and they're like kind of like fucked up because your character's in duress.
Yeah,
Right.
There's
Like,
anxiety.
anxious. And I'm like, I can't. I'm not. I feel like I'm dyslexic. Like I can't read it.
No, you
But-
can't, because you have to you get the 4. They're related to the 4 face buttons.
Yeah,
and they're all swirled together and jumbled.
Yeah.
And shaking.
It happens. That's like a mini game in Yakuza.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where you have to like.
You're like talking to a hot girl on the phone. You're trying to like not say the wrong thing.
That's really funny, and I can sometimes perceive that as frustration. I think also because I'm coming hot off the heels. I've played so many RPG games of Wasteland 3 where I'll literally like stand up and like walk around my room thinking about sitting on a screen where I get to choose a dialogue option. And I'm like, I think about it for like literally sometimes a couple minutes. I'm just sitting in my chair trying to think about what this means, what that means, and then I click a button. Whereas this, it's like, these are what you could say, maybe. Can you read them? Okay, it's time to choose.
It's trying to be much more much more realistic, I guess. It's going for realism, I feel like, a lot of time. Because it's like, when I had that, and I was like, oh, I'll go watch the press conference. Then I was like, actually, I do kind of want to explore.
Yeah.
So I stood right back up, went back into the, station, got a little cup of water.
I'm thirsty.
I'm thirsty.
Man, we said it before, but Norman Jayden has the roughest lines.
He doesn't
I
pronounce
like
it.
his voice a lot.
The delivery.
it's like
really
a-
growing on me.
It's like a
It's
poor
funny.
man's JFK.
It makes me
That's where I'm
laugh.
at.
But man, we get into a heated debate actually coming up.
Well, the other thing I'll say is like, you're always gonna miss something, but the game does always give you something. It's not like it's not like, oh, you fucked up, so now you don't get the reward. It's like, no, you're just doing something else.
Yeah.
It's very much like life.
Right.
I don't know if it was just one of the Norman's thoughts, but he did say like Perry seems more interested in his public opinion than he does in the actual case. So at least I gleaned that out of the even missing the.
Yeah, you get the impression that the local police force is botching this basically.
Yeah, more or less.
So the other thing I want to mention real quick about the press conference before we move on from that is that they're, and I did notice this earlier in the game as well, but I didn't mention it. They're using Soupy brand cameras, the news teams. SOOPY, Soupy. And
Is that a real brand or is that just funny?
I think it's just funny. Hang on, Soupy. Soupy, hang on. So,
Soupy poopy.
did you contribute to Larry's watch fund?
I did.
I did as well.
There's a retirement watch, or a promotion watch.
Yeah.
Different from the retirement watch they probably also give. And everybody's thrown in to give, and they're like, we give everyone the same model watch. It helps to like keep everyone on the same time or something.
Yeah.
And
It's like, that doesn't make sense.
I don't really.
That's not how those work.
So we don't have to create 3D models for more than one watch.
They're not atomic clocks.
Did we meet Larry? Is that
No.
No.
Okay.
He's just some guy who's getting promoted to lieutenant. And I think it's just like, it's one of those decisions where you're like, decision where you're like, well, do you want to be friendly with this police force, you know what I mean? Or do you want to...
Gain
And I'm going to be honest with you, kind of regret giving the $5.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I threw down $5, which is basically what it would cost to like barter information from a guy working at a hotel.
Roughly
Just
the same
about,
amount,
to get somebody to tell you exactly where someone lives.
If you wanted like 2 balloons, you could probably get like 2 balloons for $5.
Around
Get
there.
$1
Easy.
back probably.
Yeah, maybe give the clown $1 tip, you know?
Yeah.
He
Keep the
deserves
change.
it. He's working hard at that stall in the weirdest position.
No stall, just holding balloons, standing there.
I thought he had a little thing behind him. Was he
He
just
might
holding
have.
balloons?
He might have had a thing behind him.
I don't think so. I think the thing he had was just the rack of balloons.
Yeah.
He had a rack for sure.
So
Had some
at
tits
one
on him.
point before this, I just wrote down my notes that I can't do the voice really, but Norman says to himself like, "Get a hold of yourself, man," and it was like, "What?"
This investigation is starting to give me the creeps. Get a hold of yourself, man.
Very awkward. So you go to the
You speak with Carol, or
I think
Barbara,
Carol.
whatever it is.
Carol,
Cheyenne.
Cheryl, Sharon.
and
Whatever
she
the
and
fuck
she
her name
brings you
was.
to your office, and it's like a dingy room with like high windows, and you're like, "This is my office."
Yeah, it looks
It's
like
like-
it looks
What do
like
you
you're in a
expect?
basement.
You're-
I thought it was a sick room.
I did not think
Yeah,
it
but
was
you
a sick
also
room.
Really?
you like Slipknot.
Yeah, you love
You
all those.
want to be in a concrete room where "fuck the world" is written on the wall.
Like an early 2000s music video with like tally marks carved into the wall, and you're holding your head in a fetal position.
If you think that's only the early 2000s, boy, it's not innovated in that regard at all.
It's a decent sized room. It's quiet.
You got a
I
desk.
thought it was fine. Yeah.
He does kind of come around. If you listen to his thoughts, he goes, "Well, I guess I did ask for a quiet space."
It's,
you know what
it's
I mean?
Oh, really? I
separate
didn't
from
get
like
that.
the rabble.
It's just
you
like
know?
what's the big like do you expect to get like a nice office for the guy who's just dropping in?
I figured that at least not have like concrete walls with like chunks taken out of it. You know what I mean? That's where like I got where he was coming from, and I did write in my notes. I was like, well, I should have given the $5 when he was going to get this shit ass office.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather be in a cubicle in the middle of everybody.
Power play
you know
that
what I
would
mean?
be on your side.
He wants to make it his own, so he there's like papers and a phone on the desk, and he just shoves it off.
I know. I went to
so
interact,
weird.
and I was like, "Is he about to fuck on this desk?" Like he was like,
let's go, baby.
and I was like, "That's a phone. That's a
about to
full telephone."
Yeah, he's about to throw down.
Very rude.
His virtual,
I mean,
yeah, GF.
I don't know. So then he brings out Ari, and this
Well,
is where
he pushes the
he pushes the
Yeah, he's
desk
gotta get
against
the desk
the wall.
against the wall, and then this is where shit gets sci-fi.
Yeah. So Ari turns into a full and like this is like what the home screen is on my Oculus. It's
Yeah.
just like this.
That's wild.
You
It
can
lets
pick
you
different
choose.
environments.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
which environment did you guys choose? I believe you can get underwater. Mm-hmm. There's like a rainforest. There's
Yeah, you're like on a cliff.
yeah. And there's like Mars.
Don't answer
Yeah,
at
and then
the
there's
same
like
time.
there's like a fall. There's like an autumnal scene where you're like in the forest.
Yeah, and I think you're in like the I think in the forest you're like in the like foundation of a destroyed home. It looks
Yeah,
like.
kind of. It's like
It
it's
doesn't
like a
look
little
like just
like
a foundation that was built. It looks like it was built and then broken down.
yeah. I cycled through all of them just to see.
But you want to say at the same time what we all picked?
Yeah. Mhm.
One. So three, and then we'll say it. 1, 2, 3.
Underwater.
Really?
Yeah.
I chose the one that was like looked like Mars.
I started out with
know you
Mars,
said Mars.
and then I like
Mars.
I just picked Mars, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I realized I could switch. I could like select all of them, and then I cycled through all of them, and I was like, underwater is the one for me. It's what I settled on.
I almost feel
I
like
love being
That's what I said
underwater.
too. I said underwater is the one for me.
underwater is the
And
one.
Eve was
for
like,
me.
"What'd you say?"
No, but it's like it felt
It's
like
hilarious.
I'm like you're just
They're all
like,
Because it has this big dramatic,
Yeah.
like everything turns into whatever thing you choose.
Yeah.
And like
Mars was a little eerie for
And
me.
there's, like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it was.
You can't breathe in either of those situations.
No, underwater is you're literally. I thought it would just be like when I saw water, I was just like, oh, you're gonna be like on the beach or something. You know what I mean? Just like
Yeah.
so, and then you're literally just submerged like in a coral reef.
There's like fish swimming around you.
Yeah.
Norman is like, I just imagine him like,
And then like when you're using the underwater option, like when he speaks, he like
Yeah, it is. It's cool. And all the noises are too as you like swipe the things. You
Really,
know what I mean? It's
actually?
like
no. Well, the noises are bubble, but he doesn't
okay,
speak bubbly.
because I figured not that. Yeah, they're,
I was like, I don't think you hear. I think it's just
interesting.
thoughts at that point. So it'd be funny if
Because
his
like the
internal.
ambient, like
his internal
reverb of
monologue.
the space is there basically.
with the Mars one, it is more like sci-fi, like you have like these like
Yeah.
So
That's great.
this is where you get to like really see like what Ares capable of. Like you've been collecting data and shit.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And so
it has
all
a
the
digital filing cabinet. And
Yeah,
he
which
literally like runs his finger.
but then when he does it and he goes this one he like flicks them out of there with such
just in the
force and they just go
yeah,
they stick and
it's clear that there's.
It seems like you could just be like. When instead he's like,
yeah.
better just tap the one you want.
right, yeah, just
Like I don't
It's
know.
interesting. It's like they're playing into this idea that the glove part of Ari has like some sort of like this haptic feedback that simulates weight. Because like with the ball, like with the baseball, like as
That's what VR is doing.
you caught it, yeah. There's a big long hair on me. As you catch it, like
put it on his floor.
Where else would you like me to eat it?
I'd like you to eat it. Put it in your pocket. Take it home, so it doesn't
so I can snack
wind
on it.
up inside of my sweatpants.
Tangled around my balls.
Tangled around my balls.
Tucked between my like
Blocking
the
off
skin.
circulation.
We
a cool
did
idea,
have to
that
pull
is.
one of your hairs. We probably said this on the show before, but I did have to pull one of your hairs. I think Eve pulled it out
Out of your cat?
of Sluggo's mouth.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Just glad it wasn't his asshole.
Yeah. Don't let him eat me floss.
So there, oh, man, he almost did recently. I was like, how'd you fucking get
It
that?
is do not let that happen.
I know.
I won't explain, but
It makes
don't
me
let
shiver.
that happen. It's
We can
horrible.
understand.
I can imagine like pulling
really
dental
gross.
floss out of my own asshole.
Anyway,
I've been there.
celery is nature's floss for your colon.
I was shoving some celery up there last night.
That's not how it works.
Cleaner. You always say that, and I always try it.
I always say it.
The celery tasted
celery
awful.
I made ants on a log.
When you are looking at the files and stuff, you can basically like scan them for
You can do like
knowledge, or you can geolocation scan.
Yeah,
How
it's like
fucking
analyze
powerful.
or geolocate.
Yeah, with how powerful this shit is, I'm surprised it's not like the man who committed these crimes is this person.
It kinda
it's
did.
How does it not?
It kind of did because he went to the profile and it was like
It narrowed it down to
yeah. He was like
couple
he's white
individuals.
between 30 and 40 years old. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like it gave
Likely
you.
drives this car.
Yeah.
This is a real cool sequence, honestly. I thought this was pretty badass.
And then it was basically like based on all that, it's one of these two fucking guys probably.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, just to reiterate, like as you go through those menus, it narrows down like the scope of the area, places that like these specific orchids that he leaves on the corpses could be found, but they're also naturally
They're really
occurring.
common, so it's like
there's an origami shop, so maybe he gets it from there. But like like
Yeah, you like geolocate, analyze the origami. And you're like, well,
even gives
origami
you-
is sold here, and it
Yeah.
shows you on the map where it is.
and
yeah,
it gives you like the chemical makeup of
the paper.
Yeah.
paper. It's
Yeah.
like, and it's like that's incredibly useful data. I know that sounds like, oh, what would you do with that? But like, there's always
No,
there's
that's stuff
clues.
that's used to solve
I don't know
crimes.
if you've ever seen
Susan-
CSI or Bones, but
I have watched
But
a
it's
couple
not.
episodes of
It's
Bones.
not. It's
Bones is
usually the
good.
kind of thing that takes a lab,
Yeah.
a team of people.
Data
usually you don't
test.
just
He
walk
just like
up to
looks at something and is like
Zero.
analyzed.
yeah.
Yeah.
He walked up to the crime scene and he was like, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Which would it's just blasting like radiation. There's
Oh,
no
it has
way.
to be. Yeah.
There's no way this technology is not just giving everything.
He takes off the
cancer.
glove in his hand. It's just beat red.
Yeah. He's like, well, actually,
So this is after you're using the headset, you take it off and you start to have a freak out. And there's tryptocane is the drug. He calls
I
it
thought it's
tryptol.
triptol or trypto. Okay.
But I think
okay.
it's short for tryptocane.
okay.
Which is a drug, and I don't know if I'm spoiling anything or if it's obvious.
Because I don't know. It doesn't say exactly what it is.
It doesn't real. I think it does say later, but the drug is used to mitigate the effects of using the VR headset too much.
Oh, see, I just thought he was addicted
assumed-
to it. I thought he
Well,
was
he's addicted to it. He is addicted to it because he's addicted to using the VR thing.
Yeah.
Clearly, he can't get enough of it.
Yeah, because when he's sitting out there, he's like,
Yeah.
I'm waiting around. He goes, I guess I could get some Ari time in.
Yeah.
You know what I
Ari.
mean? Ari time in.
You gotta say it right.
I gotta hang out with Ari Shafir.
I know,
later.
that's what I keep thinking
Every
of.
time I've ever seen the word Ari, and
Ugh,
that as a
fucking
name.
hate that
Yeah.
guy.
He's an awful man.
I can't stand him.
I didn't like him like when I first was aware of him, and then he did so many more things to make me dislike.
Yeah,
him
like
so
I had no
much
idea who
more.
he was, and I saw him do like one stand-up set, and I was like, I fucking hate this
I
guy.
was like, that's
He's
okay.
so offensive, but beyond that, because I like a lot of offensive comedy. I get it. Like, whatever. I'm not.
Yeah, Matt's cool.
I'm not. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
I'm not. Well, I'm not like a PC type or anything. But I'm also like.
Yeah, Matt uses Macs.
I don't. What?
You use Mac computers.
Yeah.
not a PC.
But it's also like. He had a guest on his show recently that I really wanted to hear. Mm-hmm. So I listened to like an episode of his podcast, and
the Ben Shapiro,
it was the Ben Shapiro episode.
Mayo Yiannopoulos episode.
It was the trio, the iconic trio.
Just Ben, Milo, and Ari.
Man,
Great combo.
can't believe they didn't say no. Well, Ari did. No, but here's the thing. He was just the way he is, like his thoughts, his opinions, beyond any like his just like being offensive for the sake of being offensive, just being shocking and pretty weak comic, I think,
Yes.
in my opinion. He also is just insufferable. He's just annoying.
That's how
He's
I
very
perceive him
lame.
to be.
He seems like
Sometimes those edgy guys are cool. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
yeah, because it's like the edginess is to a degree just kind of an act. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
and then like
that's what Tom
in
Segura
real life,
does,
they're
yeah.
kind of there's plenty of examples. But he reminds me of. I'll always like describe him as the kind of guy who like. You'd go over to his house when you're 12 years old, and he'd have an 8-year-old sister, and he'd get in a physical fight with that 8-year-old sister. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he'd be like, Mom, she's hitting me! And then he'd, like, full-on punch his 8-year-old
4
sister.
years old.
You know what I mean? I'm like, you are going through puberty. And she has an 8-year-old girl.
I feel like you're retrieving a core memory here.
I had a friend like that as a young boy, and I'm like, that's... Ari Shafir grew up like that, I feel.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, yeah.
Ari Shafir is also addicted to trypto. So did you guys take the trypto, or did you go to the bathroom?
I
went to the bathroom.
stumbled to the bathroom.
And so
I tried
he's
to
like,
get through it.
no one must notice. I think is what he says.
He's like, you have to like you have to take the one shaking hand and hold the other shaking hand to steady both of them.
Somehow steadies them.
And like one cop stops and he's like, "You all right, man?"
You all right, buddy?
And then you don't say you say nothing, and then it is a woman,
he's like,
and then she
"Oh."
just keeps going.
She's like, "Oh,
I think
must
it's a
be
guy.
Okay.
Is it a guy? Okay.
It was a guy, and then a woman walks.
a woman
out.
walks by. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he washes his face, and that stops the withdrawal.
Impending
Apparently.
explosion somehow. Yeah.
So like, I mean,
Because he literally says, like, as he's like starting to like have the attack, he's like, "Oh, I gotta wash my face."
yeah, and
I mean, I do that when I'm stressed out or like when
yeah, it
I
helps.
wake
Splash a
up.
little cold water on yourself.
Yeah.
Cold water in the face brings you back to this awful place.
Cool.
It's the Clash tried rapping in the late 70s.
Kevin Clash?
No, Joe
No,
Strummer's
The
The
Clash.
Clash.
Much like Blondie did.
Not the former voice of beloved character Elmo from Sesame Street.
No, Joe Strummer?
No, Kevin Clash.
Oh, no, like I said, Joe Strummer's The Clash.
It's Kevin.
There's really intense music while you're washing your face.
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
It's building up.
Yeah.
There's a few moments in this game where it's like, if you like go for like the calm option in like a panic scenario, you'll be like, "Hey man, everything's okay," but in the background it's still like, and like everyone's starting to calm down, but the music's still like, and you're like, I can't.
I love it. I fucking love it. So as you come out,
It made me make a horrible mistake later.
you come out of the bathroom and the camera kind of pans around and switches, and we see Ethan Mars is coming in to report that his son, Sean, has gone missing. Of course, Chapter 6, Where's Sean? Led directly to Chapter 7.
Great chapter name sometimes, by the way. Where's Sean?
I looked ahead. I saw Ethan fucking dies, so I guess I know what's happening in that chapter.
So, that
better not happen. I'll be pissed.
don't look ahead. Okay, don't look ahead. There's some
Blatant spoilers.
no.
Or just
It's just
big-
better to not know.
So Ethan comes in,
And he's reporting.
He starts speaking to Blake, Terry, and Norman.
Well, and Norman sidles
He
up.
kinda
Yeah, he kind of comes out of fucking nowhere.
and it's not cool.
No.
It's not cool the way he did that. But
You probably shouldn't jump into like a
Less than chill scenario.
even if you're working on the case, like introduce yourself or be like, "Do you guys mind if I step in?" or something.
Yeah.
He basically just like hijacks the conversation. But in the conversation, the player takes control of Ethan, and they're asking you like, "Oh, like what time did he go missing?" I have no fucking idea.
I didn't know the
Yeah.
answer to fucking like
I didn't
any
know
of
any of
these
those
questions.
things.
I was
This
like,
was like
oh,
so realistic.
shit.
Where I was like, "Oh man," because this happens all the time when crimes are reported.
I don't know what time. it
You
is
can
right now.
like, especially like in famous cases where like where the case files or police reports are more commonly distributed.
Yeah.
You can read multiple reports, and it's just like
wildly different.
like people don't
stats.
know. You think we make mistakes on this show? Imagine getting mugged and then telling someone the details of the event. You're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
My memory is bad to begin with. I imagine like times that I have had like adrenaline or like a intense event. Gone. Can't,
I had a guy pull a knife on me, and then like if you asked me to describe to you what he looked like, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like I can't remember. Well, I can't remember like a detail of him other than like he was the same height as me.
A guy, he had a knife. Yeah.
He was wearing a coat.
Jordan and I went to,
I was wearing platform shoes that day.
Jordan and I went to a concert, like a festival, and it was just full of very intense events when we were like 18 or 19. And man, we saw a couple of my favorite bands. We saw a couple of your favorite bands. I don't remember it at all and that was before I even drank or anything. It was just so much adrenaline seeing them that I can't remember it.
It was the first time we'd like been in there. It was a very
Lots of
we
new
went to a different country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were alone. And
It was just your
You guys went to Hellfest in France.
That was pretty
I
cool.
fucking wish. We went to
We went
Heavy
to
Montreal.
Took a plane to Vaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, your glasses got shattered.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
not gonna
I
tell
got
the
yeah.
whole story,
No, but it was just
fucked up.
it was a.
We've all been to concerts, losers.
But that was our first one. Big one.
Everyone, please recall your first concert experience.
Down in the comments, let us know.
Yeah, but no, it was just very realistic. Where it was like, shit, What was Sean wearing?
What did you guys remember? What you said he was wearing, or what time
I
it
said
was?
he was wearing, and this sucked. I was like, he's wearing a brown shirt with beige pants.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, I don't
I said it. I was like, no, he wasn't.
No way.
And the same thing, I was like, his coat was brown or green. I don't
It didn't
remember.
give you the option to say I don't know.
No, I know. That was my
Right.
I think
But
in
then-
that scenario, Ethan
so-
wouldn't want
And I
to
said
sound like
4:15. I was like, I don't know, it's 4:15.
Yeah, I said like 5:30 or
I
something.
said 5:30, and I said green shirt, brown pants.
Here's the thing. He's wearing like a pink shirt.
What?
Yeah?
I went back and replayed that chapter because my game capture got messed up. So I replayed like chapters 4 through 6. And I was like, what? That is not what I thought he was wearing at all.
No.
Pink shirt?
Well, because it asks
He's
you
got
the
a
color
pink
of his
shirt under his
jacket.
hoodie.
Yeah, it asks you like the color of his hoodie or his jacket or
And
whatever.
even now, I
then-
can't remember what it was.
Yeah. I said brown and beige too, though, because I was like, I have absolutely no idea.
I really doubt he was wearing brown.
But I did.
and
I said
beige.
that, and then afterwards, I was like, he's not a fucking UPS worker. Like coming out of work.
Was he in Desert Storm? What am I
It was tucked in. He had a hat.
Yeah, he was wearing beige shorts, real short, high socks.
We mentioned this off
Fishing
camera.
rod.
We mentioned this off camera, but Ethan says he was on the carousel. Carousel.
It really took me out of it.
Hits the hard sell.
And then he wanted to go on the carousel, so I put him on one of the wooden horses.
Weren't you right by the carousel?
Carousel.
It took me out of it hardcore in that moment. I was like, what the
lot
fuck?
of those in this play session.
I tried to be very open about the fact that I was like, I don't know, I lost track of him. I turned around, he was gone.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I
happened.
didn't like that. I mean, like, I get it. It's semi-realistic because you don't want to seem... Because at this point, it's a first point where I feel like it hints at the fact that Ethan also thinks he might be the origami killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he didn't want to, like, incriminate himself by admitting that he's having these blackouts. He blacked out and just left his kid there. You know what I mean? I don't remember. Because I was like, why don't you just fucking tell him you blacked out and you've been having blackouts? I was like, I told the therapist that I've been having blackouts,
therapist, yeah.
so he'd be able to back me up. You know what I mean? But instead, you're just like, they're like, why'd it take you 5 fucking hours to get here? And you're
What'd
like,
you say?
I don't
I
know.
said I sat on the
I said I
bench.
panicked.
You said you sat
said-
on the bench?
Yeah, I said I went to the bench, and then I said that I panicked.
No, I said I panicked.
No, I'm saying, he said, why did it take you so long to report him missing? Like,
I said panicked.
I said it's because I went out searching for him.
That would have been a much better thing to say.
Because, like, you panicked for 3.5 hours?
I was panicking myself, me, in the moment.
Yeah. I said I panicked and that Sean had reasons to run away because then they're like, would
I said
Sean
that
run
too.
away? And I was like,
said,
yeah.
He's a troubled child.
I said that Sean's a little
don't take
bitch,
care of
and I
him.
told him to take a hike. What I said was, take a long walk off a short pier.
Dog,
You
yeah.
bitch.
You little pussy kid.
And I spit on him on the carousel. The
I
carousel.
spun the carousel so fast that he shot off, went into space.
That was the merry-go-round.
No.
Oh, that's the carousel.
No, I did it to the carousel too.
Oh, okay.
You're very
You're so
strong.
strong.
Yes. Well, I had angry dad strength.
You did.
Grace is here. Grace and Ethan are reunited.
Unfortunately.
And
She said that. He said that.
She
like
says
you're
one of
hosting
the-
a roast.
Yeah.
You're like, Grace is here.
Grace is here. That
Lost another kid, I guess. Dumb bitch. You dumb bitch.
This is
but before,
if it sound
before
great on the mics.
gotta blast out the mics at least once per episode.
Keeps the people coming back. They never know what's
Yeah,
going to happen.
I'm sure that all the viewers love hearing you call this woman a dumb bitch. This is more aggressively than you've ever
this
been.
broken woman.
There are more broken ladies to be had.
I'm jumping. I'm jumping ahead. During this, this small, it's not an interrogation. He's making a report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not a suspect at the moment.
No.
Or I mean, you're always a suspect.
Yeah.
But he's not like he's there on his own volition. But yeah, Norman does just go up. He goes, "Oh, well, let me ask some questions now." And
Yeah, he
everyone's
just-
like, "Well, you weren't even here for the first half of the conversation."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like in any time that I've seen, like in all the like cop like interrogation scenes that you just see in movies and TV shows over the days, like if another person is there and they want to ask a question, they'll wait. I feel like they wait. Have you guys seen those sequences where later on they're like, "Why didn't you ask him about this?" And he's like, "Well, this and this and this."
Like they like knock
It's
on
just
the
like-
door.
That's a trope,
There's,
yeah.
there's like certainly like a
Also, he like just got done almost passing out from like a fucking like drug withdrawal. You
Right.
Know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that too.
And then he like stumbles over there, still
like, hug.
shaking. He's like, "I'll just get in on this."
In general, it's not cool to like
There's, like,
get
rules
in
of
on someone
engagement
else's.
almost?
Yeah.
Like if you're interviewing someone for a job, like if I'm interviewing someone at my job to be like a new cook, and I'm like sitting there and I'm talking to them,
Like, how big is
and then
your
like
cock?
someone else walks up, and they like interrupt the conversation to ask them a question, afterwards I kind of be like, can you never do that again? Like, can you please never do that again?
You're kind of doing something.
We're trying to,
The other thing I really like is like
Trying to
Ethan's
find out
like
if this guy's gonna kill us later.
Ethan's like, so do you think it could be the origami killer? And Blake's like,
Origami.
he's like, hey, he probably just ran off. He's like, but what if it is?
What
He
if
goes,
it is? And he's like, your son's fucking dead.
And then Blake,
no, he says, so then we got like 3 days to find him.
I gotta give him credit. That's the answer I'd want. As brutal as that is, he's not giving him any fluff.
Yeah.
Because it is likely that I always say the most likely outcome is probably what happened.
Right.
But it could have been the origami killer.
But speaking of fluff, marshmallow fluff can be purchased at Hassan's shop.
That's right.
Chapter 8.
after your wife tells you that you lost the other child,
She-
wasn't it enough to lose one kid? And then she's like, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, she
I'm
like,
immediately
"But the way she-
You did, though.
apologizes.
She said, I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm like, well, so you still meant the same thing. You just phrased it wrong.
Well, yeah, because you did lose him.
This is another example. Of
And
like,
you lost both of them.
hospital.
Right, like you were the sole guardian in like
Both of these
responsible
scenarios.
in that in both those situations.
And I feel like Ethan's response.
I said, "Can I trust you?" You said, "Yes, wife and parent of
And
this
mother
child.
of child.
Like you can trust me to do my part here."
To just not kill your kid.
Didn't.
And then the kid's gone. And I don't know if it was the animation here or if it was just like Ethan's reaction. It just felt weird. Like she starts breaking down and she's sobbing. Like after they have
Yeah.
that little interaction, he just kind of like, it's clearly he's a little distressed, but he's just kind of like looking around. Like I don't know if that was.
I think he's just out of it. He has no idea what's fucking going on.
I think he's a
Yeah.
broken man who is really just like going around like, am I murdering kids when I black out? I have
wanna-
no
I just
fucking-
right.
Draw
'Cause
houses.
He still hasn't talked about it, but he keeps having origami in his hand
Yeah.
when he has his blackouts. What does that mean? Well, who cares? Chapter 8, Hassan's shop. We're back in control of Mr. Shelby.
Scott Shelby, real American hero.
Scott Shelby's my number one. I'm loving this guy.
He's like just
the only
like-
character that like, hasn't done me wrong yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could have him do you wrong, but like
Yeah.
it seems like based on the way I'm going for it, he's a fucking bread and butter white. You know what I mean? Like apple pie.
You know.
It's a bread and butter white.
It's bread and butter, classic
Don't
white
love
bread.
that.
Wonder baby, Wonder bread.
He's continuing his quest to interview all the recent parents of the recent victims.
To harass the recent parents of murdered children.
But Hassan,
bizarrely save each one of them from a weird thing that's happening to them every time he shows up.
well, tragedy happens in threes.
Just like comedy.
So, the owner doesn't want to talk. He's like, Mr. Shelby?
My son's
No.
fucking.
He's
Yeah.
like, he's dead. Cops didn't want to help me before.
Yeah.
Now you want to help? And it's like, first of all, he's not a cop.
Yeah.
No,
He's not a cop.
That's the part I wish like would kind of get through these people. So I'm like, hey, this guy's just trying to do it for real.
It's like, yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? The cops did fail you. That's why I'm here. Fuck the cops. I know I shouldn't say that.
And I tried to appeal to the, because like I realized the sympathy
Hey,
slash
look,
like empathy.
I have my ACAB
ACAB
socks.
socks on?
It's got cute little kittens saying ACAB. I only paid $46 for these.
It's a picture of the precinct that got raided in Portland. But no, it's like you go for the
We're going down to
sympathy
the
and then never.
autonomous zone in the city after this.
It's a cop-free zone.
All right, sorry.
No, you're fine. You try cop-free zone, so therefore crime-free.
also crime-free.
Because you can't report the crime, so it happens.
I don't know if it's crime free.
But anyways, you try to go for like the sympathy. I try to go for the sympathy like every time, and they never react well to that.
No, they don't seem to.
Which I guess I get. I've never lost a child to murder, so I guess
Probably
I
had
don't.
to know
Right.
their ropes,
But then
so-
I try to like manipulate them after that, and again it didn't work.
So I didn't get anything out of him on my first
No.
go around. Did you in your first interaction with him?
No.
And
No, yeah,
so
I got nothing from
you're
him.
about to leave, and he's like, "One more thing.
Wait a minute.
Do you have inhalers?" And it's
Right.
like he goes,
so weird.
he goes, "At least I won't go away empty-handed."
Yeah.
And it's like,
So stiff because like,
It's
my
like-
conversation ended with like a
Ooh.
"you should leave" kind of thing. Like,
Yes.
I don't want you here anymore.
Yeah,
He's like,
totally.
all right. Wait a minute. You got inhalers.
and so you go to the back.
Yeah. Mhm.
Did you guys, when you're walking toward the back of the store, did you see a pile of potato chips?
There's just
Yeah,
shit
I
bag
saw him
of chips
beforehand too,
before.
because when I walked in, I didn't go right up to him.
Yeah,
I
me
kind
too.
of like wandered around for a second, and I
Yeah.
stepped on the chips on my way back.
did I.
Okay, really? 'Cause
Yeah.
When I
That was
walked through the
first aisle I
store,
went through.
I didn't see the chips the first time I walked through.
No?
They only appeared
Uh-oh.
after.
Oh.
I talked to him.
Yeah,
I
because I
definitely
stepped
saw
on
him
him because it was
before.
as I came back up to the counter because I was like, oh, I'm supposed to talk to him. I stepped on the chips and I was like, has he
Maybe
not
I
noticed
just
these
missed
chips
that
on the
aisle
ground?
and I didn't
Yeah.
notice it.
But it
There's
kind of
like the
comes
middle
into
one.
play
Right.
in a minute.
So as you're getting your inhaler, a guy walks in. He looks around, doesn't notice you because you're in the back corner.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's probably one of those fucking mirror things or something, you should.
And he looks down the aisles,
Yeah.
but he just misses.
But
Giant Scott Shelby.
what's this guy's name? Nathan?
His name is Andrew.
Oh, is it? So Andrew walks in,
Just imagine I'm walking in.
and you have a pistol, and you're going empty the cash register. You
Motherfucker.
fuck.
You fucking
And,
No mask.
No.
No, he's sweating. He's nervous.
Clearly not a professional criminal.
Clearly. And so,
It's capturing the
so what
essence of the
happens
six-way
is,
experience.
for me, I went to the far aisle. I go, I'll try to get,
So it's like, I want to avoid these chips. Don't want to make any noise.
Right.
Here.
I see to my right a frying pan.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't see the fry. I saw.
You
I
grabbed
saw
the frying
to
pan.
my
I
left
go-
a handle of wine or whiskey or a bottle.
Okay. I found that my first playthrough. My second playthrough, I found the pan.
I fucked it up.
There was a whole, like, little display of cookware.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I go to grab the pan. I think I'm going to whack him in the back of the head with the pan.
Yeah, it's whacking time. Yeah.
I drop the pan.
I dropped the bottle.
Did you guys forget that the checkered square means you have to do it slow?
Yeah.
Because
And
I did
thought
the same
was doing
thing.
it
I was
slow,
like,
too.
oh, I'm gonna grab this bottle and bash him with it, and then he just goes, like hits the bottle on the fucking ground. It's like,
Yeah, I just knocked over because they're all like on like the little pegs.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
just like
Yeah. He looks over. They make a- whoa.
that's me pretending I was a dog in the store. I'm
just
the
a dog.
store dog.
It's like fucking barf.
I'm a bodega
crawl
dog.
Barf from Spaceballs.
right on the bodega dog. It's usually a cat, but I'll take it.
Oh yeah, bodegadogs.tumblr.com. You can see my work there. And he's like, "You asshole, get over here!" And so
Yeah.
he's got you at gunpoint. And
You
at
have
this
to-
point,
you got to hold L and B or left
keep
and
your
right
hands
bumper,
up.
You gotta
hands up.
keep your hands up.
but so in my playthrough, I want to see what happened for you guys. Before we go to how it finalized, I want to know. You get the chance to talk to them.
Yes.
I go, "What's your name? What are you doing? You don't really want to hurt anybody here. Can we talk this out?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you guys also you have similar experience?
I did the same thing where I just tried to be nice to him. I was like, "Hey man, you're not a criminal. You're not a killer, right, man? Like you don't
Yeah.
want to kill somebody."
So-
He's like, "I'm not a killer."
I was
man.
alternating between asking him questions, literally 1, 2, 1, 2. Ask him a question, calm him down. Like, you don't want to do this, man. What's your name? And then
Yeah.
like, he has a daughter.
And are you inching toward him as you do this?
Yeah, you're like very slowly
Steppy
like.
steps, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, boy.
And you can ask him to put down the gun eventually.
Yeah.
How did it go for you?
He didn't want to put down the gun. He
No?
almost goes to. It seems like he seems like he's kind of starting to, and then he's like, "No, fuck you, man."
Yeah, I think that's what happened to me too. And then you had to grab it.
You gotta wrestle. You gotta wrestle him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened for you?
So for me, I grabbed the gun and I clocked him and
Yeah.
knocked him out and left him on the floor.
Yeah.
He
And
takes
I,
other
I,
hard
went, I
hit.
went to leave.
Yeah.
And then Hassan's like, "Wait, I got this shoebox
Yeah.
along with a letter. I don't know what it means. Maybe it can help your investigation."
This
and
is
he's
very
like,
peculiar.
he's going, well, it basically
Yeah.
just says like, I was beginning to think there wasn't any good left in this world. And like, you helped me see.
It's very heartwarming.
And-
Heartwarming.
And Shelby's
Warming?
like, "No problem."
Yeah.
And you leave. The gun's
guy's
on the
just
the
floor.
gun's on the floor, and the guy's.
He's passed
You
out.
do like move the gun from him, but
Yeah, you,
not
like,
that far.
No.
Kick it like
You know what I
And
mean?
then
a foot away.
Hassan, for me, Hassan just kind of like puts his elbows down on the desk, and it seems like he's just gonna just hang out at his counter, like wait for the guy to he didn't call the cops.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Very
it was so
odd.
bizarre.
So in my first playthrough, I was able to talk him down, and he's like, "You know what? You're right, man. I fucked up. I'm so sorry." Like,
I was saying something like just put your gun down, man. We'll forget this happened.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
do anything messed up yet.
you can talk him out of it, and he'll go, "I'm so sorry. I'm gonna make a change," and he leaves.
I'm sure it has to do with like the order that you end up asking the questions in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like in the way if you're like you said, like you were like rotating between like calm down, ask question.
I thought that might be
I
the
think if
best
you
move.
time them right or something, you know what I mean,
It
then
has
that
to do
leads to that.
Yeah, you also have like 4 different dialogue options each time, and it's
Yeah.
like, I basically, I believe to my memory, I appealed more to, basically his like, "What's your situation? How'd you get here?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to a little bit. I was
said
like,
that,
"You have a
yeah.
daughter? You have family? Like, is there anybody who cares about you?" He's like, "I got a
you
daughter,
can
man."
find a way to continue that line of questioning.
Oh, okay.
Imagine
I
if
must
your
have just
daughter
hit the
saw
wrong
you here.
option.
I
Yeah.
must have gone down that line and then messed up.
Yeah, they veered off, inevitably. But it was a good sequence, though. It was intense, and then you absolutely fucking clock him in the face. And it's weird that, I mean, maybe Hassan tried to give this box to the cops and they didn't care.
Right.
But it's like, it's kind of weird that he just was like, I don't really know what this is about.
Right, so
another
it-
thing,
Especially,
he got a letter with a locker ticket in it, and he goes to the locker at like a public storage locker thing.
yeah, like train
they have them at
stations,
train
and
stations.
bus
Yeah.
stops. And
and it was
Amusement
inside
parks.
of there, and inside of the box is a green origami lizard.
Can I just say he had the shoebox with him at the store?
yeah, he probably,
I imagine
just,
he
like,
lives
he
at
probably
the
lives
store.
above the
Yeah,
store
but
in
why
the
would
back
you
of
just
it.
keep the shoebox at your register? Just like, oh,
Well, there's something else in that shoebox that might be handy to have at your register.
If it's
not in this one.
we don't know.
We don't know. We haven't seen inside of this box.
Well, we saw the lizard.
We saw the lizard. I thought that was all. That
He
was
just
may
he
have
took the
pulled it
lizard out.
out.
He pulled the lizard out.
I don't know if they show
looked
the
at
full
it. You
contents
don't
of
see
the
inside
box.
of this box.
That's what was confusing to me. Okay.
Just pull out the
So-
little gecko,
I thought that was all that was in there.
Geico.
That's the end of chapter 8.
It's a quick one.
You leave.
I liked it a lot, and
I like
also-
the Shelby
I
chapters.
want to. You can replay these, and you can go save or not save, so it doesn't fuck your progress up. You can
Oh,
choose
okay.
before you start it. I want to see. Can't you just hit him with the fucking bottle or something?
I bet
don't
you
know.
can. I bet if you do it right, or maybe that ends up getting Hassan shot or something. You know what I mean? Or you get.
Right, that was my
As
worry.
you conk him, he
yeah.
pulls the trigger.
Anyway, chapter 9, Sleepless Night. So you're now in control of a new character.
Yes.
What's her name?
Initially, I thought it was
An
Grace.
unnamed woman.
Okay, I was like, I
I thought
didn't
it was
know.
Grace, Ethan's wife at first, but it's not.
I had to explain to you on the way over.
Yeah, I was like, was that Grace?
No,
Doesn't know.
it
'Cause
was
she had like a
just-
messy bun up in the back of her
Yeah,
head
and
when you were
like-
at the hospital, when you were at the police station.
Oh,
earlier.
right.
Like, and I remember even in the beginning, like Ethan and Norman kind of look pretty similar. The only
They're just
way
two white guys.
Yeah, but they're like the same build. Ethan has the beard, and that's how I mean, I'm getting more able to recognize the two of them. But like, they're
Ethan
very, a lot of
talks
similar looking
like
guys.
this.
I
Norman
missed my-
talks like this.
That's right.
That's how you can tell
Ask
them apart.
not what your police department can do for you.
I replayed the Shrink episode because I had to play the first part again, and I'm this is totally off topic, but just thinking about how Norman wears the headset thing, and then the Shrink also has like the portable MRI headset thing that can detect your feelings.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder. It's like, where else in this game, and maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. What other fantastical technologies will just show up throughout the rest of this game? Where
As
it's
a
like,
casual thing.
and also just the other thing that I don't think we mentioned, and in the Shrink's office, just the word ego in giant stone letters, like
I
a
did
giant
see that.
sculpture.
Yeah.
Like that's a fucking nut.
Like just
There's, like,
it
those
on the other
those,
side.
like,
and
big crazy garage window doors that open up. Like,
Yeah.
it was
yeah, he
bizarre.
seemed like a big asshole therapist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very
If I
smart.
went in there and they're like, "This is your new therapist," I'd be like, "I'm going."
It's like I said, if you go into a therapist and they try to make you do ink blot tests,
Yeah,
you should
he's
be
gonna
like,
do
I'm
it.
gonna
I'm like,
leave. He's
There's
gonna
nothing
diddle
good.
you.
You're not helping anybody here.
He's gonna give you some lithium and then he's gonna diddle you.
So,
You're gonna not be okay after.
Sleepless Night is what this chapter's called, and
Sleepless night.
no spoilers. This woman's having a sleepless night. She's asleep on her couch. She wakes up. She's like, "Oh God, you can look at your watch." Basically, you're in a big studio apartment.
Pretty nice place.
It's a
It's fucking cool ass, like New York style, like brick
Bathroom's
walls.
cool too. Bathroom's nice.
bathroom's nice.
cool.
Bathroom's got 3 shower heads.
Yeah.
And it's got 4 sinks too.
And that communal
It's clearly an old
four-way.
communal home of some sort. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, or like locker
Badass.
room or.
Reminds me of Mona's, and there's another scene that reminds me of
Yeah,
Mona.
Mona
from-
Sachs'
It does,
apartment in
yeah.
Max Payne 2.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
very similar. Wonder if
Well,
wonder
Mona
if
lives
it was
in
a-
the city.
Mona's hideout in the old
Address
park.
unknown.
address unknown theme park. Similar vibes.
Yeah, and industrial kind of.
Yeah, then again, like a communal style bathroom.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
for
Where it's
sure.
like-
Could have been like a place for like workers or something. Like
Yeah.
why would you have something where
And this gave me Resident Evil vibes too. I know I've said that before, but
this is definitely a horror chapter.
yeah,
Yeah.
So essentially, what I did was I got up and I wrote it all down. I got up, I turned
big-
off the TV,
Took a big shit.
and the TV still looks like it's on, even when you turn it off. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't just go black. It goes to like a
Gray.
a video texture that's still gray and still has
Yeah.
motion. I was like,
Yeah.
I know sometimes there's like a brief standby moment on
Yeah,
TVs,
like there's a
but
little bit of
It was very odd that
that
TV
sizzle
just stayed
remained.
on, sort of.
And it's also on like a tupper, like a tote, or like a chest.
Yeah, it's literally on just like a tote, like a hard plastic tote.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah, those don't have the greatest stability.
No,
It seems
no,
like you could
yeah.
walk past it and like it would
You
topple.
could see it wobble, yeah.
So what I did was I microwaved some tea, I drank some water, I looked at a magazine, I got onto the computer for a moment, I sat on the bed, and when I sat on the bed, I tried to lay down and I saw someone in my peripheral vision. I looked around, nothing was there. I took a shower, I came out of the shower, and that's when things got crazy. But before we talk about how things get crazy, did you guys do anything before the
Not much.
craziness occurred?
I went over and I turned on a light in the bedroom because I thought I was going to go to like her little office area or something.
Yeah.
Turned the light back off, walked in, heated up that tea,
Microwave the tea.
microwaved the tea, yep.
Did you drink the water? When I drank the water, I drank from a bottle of like sparkling spring water. It looked like
Okay.
that was looked not quite as large as the novelty wine bottles you see in restaurants sometimes.
Oh.
But it was like, I mean, the bottle was like
Your
this.
forearm.
Yeah, it was so big,
like-
and it was like
this size.
it was one of the worst animations in the game.
Yeah. I didn't
think
drink
I-
water. I just had the tea. I heated up the tea and I had a sip.
It's a diuretic. You should have some water.
Yeah, come on. I don't think is that all you did?
And then I went and I took a shower. I washed my hands for whatever reason before I took the shower.
Before I took the
I did
shower,
too, yeah,
I didn't wash my hands, but I just like looked at myself in the mirror.
Yeah. So for me, I don't think I didn't see any shower. I mean, sorry, I did see the shower. My goodness, I didn't see water or the tea. I think I went to the computer and I fucked around on that for a little bit. I explored the apartment, and I think I explored the apartment. Didn't really see anything. I didn't interact with anything, and then as
Mostly
I,
in the kitchen was
Yeah.
all the
Okay,
interactive
I
stuff.
don't think I even went in the kitchen. I sat down at the computer. It seemed like she sent an email or some shit, and then there was like ominous music, and it did the predator shot where like it's
You got like a POV
somebody-
from someone.
someone else
With
with
like a
quick
little
like some
shaky
sort of
cam.
spooky pad.
She was
and
living
then
in a spooky
It
pad.
was a spooky pad that day, and then I took the shower, got incredibly horny. and
Yeah,
then when
so,
I came out, that's when things went down.
You see, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Her beautiful tits.
Full tits and
And a great ass!
great ass. My God. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. That's what I was doing in my chair.
Whoa!
I mean, so I get it. It did strike me as gratuitous nudity.
It was gratuitous and horny because when you get out too, it's like she goes to start drying off and it cuts to like just the tits.
Yeah.
There's a lot
And I'm
of
like-
just titty scenes.
And you don't even see Ethan's dick early on.
Right,
So
I
I'm
don't-
like, why?
I don't-
And like
I
his
don't
shower
mind.
scene is very brief.
Oh, did you guys rock a piss too?
I took a big piss.
You took a big piss? It was a long piss
I'm
too.
keeping track of this. I think in the beginning of this here session, you were just saying everyone has.
a full piss animation.
This is so baffling to me. I don't understand why.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's for similar reasons to why there was such gratuitous tit shots. I think they're horny.
gratification.
I think these people are horny.
You think so?
I think
It's
if it
not
has
just
to do with
immersion?
nudity,
I don't get horny from piss.
some people do,
It's
and
a
also
whole category.
I'm aware.
I'm sure you get horny from weird stuff.
Nope.
I do.
Nope.
Crunch.
Nope.
Breaks your
Oh,
finger, gets rock hard.
No.
Oh, that's
One of the things. So this scene, yeah. There's also you had the option to like I think end the shower early and you didn't have to, and she would just keep going.
I love this shower scene because she did the thing that they do in movies where someone just like leans against the
That's-
shower
no one
wall,
once
and
has
it's like
ever
I never
done
do that. I don't like touching the wall when I'm in the shower.
No, me
It
neither.
feels gross. I don't know why it feels
Cold,
gross.
probably because you don't wash it.
Yeah.
I clean my fucking shower so much.
I never do that. Sometimes like I need to like stretch a little bit and I just want the water on my back, but I know it's rare. I don't know. I'm not saying I've never been in that position. But it's like
It's not a common thing.
it's very much like a movie shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm like sad or like depressed in the shower, I literally sit down.
Yeah.
I'll just sit down. I don't like lean
Oh,
against
that's
the wall
weird.
like.
That's fucking so
Yeah.
weird.
I dated someone who would fall asleep in the shower doing that, and it was
Sitting?
very scary.
That is very
Yeah,
scary.
that would scare
Oh,
me.
you're getting waterboarded. I would
Yeah.
never sit down in the shower. It feels terrible.
I don't say it's a common thing. It's like when I'm very sad or very depressed.
I did that
that's
for
like
a
what I go
promo
for.
video for one of our fucking
I remember that.
sorted Let's Plays that we did, and that was just shooting that. I felt
It was for an episode of Game Where Pass.
We
Pass.
waterboarded a friend of ours for a skit one time. He was like, "Do it for real," and he wanted to be realistic. He panicked immediately. We put a
Yeah.
towel over his face and just turned on the shower head,
Not
and
good.
he immediately.
was like,
It's literally it went from there was a half a second of we were like interrogating him, and then he immediately went, and you know what I mean, like had to like threw it off his face and got out and was like shaking afterwards.
I do have one critical issue. That sounds fun. We should try that we should do that for a video on Hidden Machine.
I've waterboarded myself in the shower afterwards just to
Oh, you
see.
said
You
that.
you immediately start
No,
panicking.
yeah, no, don't do it. Don't give any of our young viewers any ideas.
You can't die. Your body throws it off of your face. You just immediately start
There's
panicking.
a reason that it's a
Right.
torture.
Yeah, usually when they do it to you, they have you strapped down.
Yeah.
I do have
You immediately, your body.
critical error with this nude shower scene.
No pussy shot.
No pussy shot. Then there was no thigh. There was
Usually one
bullshit
nipple's
thigh gap.
lower or
There's
higher.
a lot
you know.
of anatomical discrepancies that I have. The main one is that the nips were just painted on. They weren't modeled.
Oh, damn.
There was
I'm so
no
sorry.
model
Oh, they
nips,
weren't
like-
modeled?
Yeah, so like they were just like the round, and there was no.
Are you
like,
sure that she just didn't have very semi-inverted nipples?
like low profile nips?
I've got real low profile nips.
As do I. But no, it seemed
Especially if I'm in a hot
she had
shower.
The
You know what I
graphic.
mean? Like, I'm sorry. I was like also adjusting. I apologize.
Jordan's rock hard right now.
They were unrelated things.
I'm sorry.
to
I'm
the-
thinking too much about unnamed woman's rockin' tits.
Yeah, this was the horniest episode
her-
I've played ever. But that was
Rockin' tits.
rocket torpedo.
got a great ass.
Is that Pacino?
That's from Heat. Yeah, with Al Pacino.
Yeah,
it's like my favorite fucking scene
Al-
from a movie.
Al Dunkachino.
So,
So yeah, that was that
Screaming
brought
Metal
my
like
opinion
Hank
of this
Azaria.
game
I'm so sorry.
skyrocketing and then down a couple points.
Yeah, and you mentioned it is very similar to the widescreen version of the Mona Sachs shower
It
scene.
is. It was very reminiscent. I wonder
Yes.
if it wasn't an inspiration because there's a lot of similar vibes.
You know what I'm guessing the inspiration was?
Horny.
Yes.
I played this. I also played this sequence right before my girlfriend came over, and I was just like, whew. Not that she would have been upset, but I'd feel weird watching it if she was in the room.
I played it with my girlfriend sitting right next to me. Well, behind me.
So she wasn't seeing it. Mm-hmm. You said, "Honey, don't look, don't look."
She was mounting me at the time.
She was pegging. She was actively pegging him.
The only way Matt can come is if he's watching. That
I need to
one
be
scene.
getting pegged from behind while playing this chapter of Heavy Rain.
Specifically.
That's why
And
you have
then
over 3,000
and then this
hours of
next
gameplay.
scene that's coming up. That's the only time you can achieve climax.
Yeah, so I
the build.
go out of the bathroom and you've been hearing weird things and seeing
Yeah.
shadow people.
There's
essentially.
so after I washed my hands, I walked back out of the bathroom, and if you walk out, you react like you hear a noise, and as you go to close the door, you're like, and then you close the door again and go in for the shower.
the exclamation point appears above
Yeah.
your head.
No, but there, you get jumped by a masked assailant, and then when you're like, "Oh my god,
says,
I gotta
"You
get
bitch!"
away," the front door is the only way, and so I ran to the door,
Yeah, you're like front door. I can get to my phone.
and I'm like,
I tried the phone.
"Why?" I
you
don't
tried the
remember.
phone.
She didn't she say the door? I have to get to the door.
No, I was given two options.
She says I can either call for help. Yeah, she's like I
get
can
to
probably
the
get to my
door.
phone and call for help,
Oh,
or
really?
I can run for the
Then I
door.
ran over to my phone and it like wasn't there anymore, even though like it seemed like she saw it. So then I was like, okay, fuck it, I guess the door.
Well, when I ran to the door, she like forgot how to use the door.
Yeah, she like suddenly can't
damn
open the door.
Well,
Yeah.
This makes sense.
I'm sorry.
after.
I want to rewind. The other thing I did was there was two giant windows, in the apartment, and before I got in the shower, I did lean against them and like look wistfully out the window.
I did look
upon
at one of the
city.
windows.
That must have been. That must look really cool.
It looked pretty cool
fine,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
That's
But-
like that apartment is so cool to me.
It's just a big. It's just a big box. I'm sure it costs like $6,000
Yeah.
a
A
month.
month. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That industrial look is so sick to me.
You can have it. Just knock a wall out. You basically have it.
My apartment is
As like you
probably
borderline
close,
do, yeah.
is as close as you can get probably for the area that we're in.
Like
but
your
it's
your two main rooms are like
yeah. space-wise.
What you gotta do is not just fill it with Nerf guns and plushies.
But an issue is also those places are usually
That'll help.
modernly renovated.
Takes
whereas
away from
mine's
the
old.
industrial gritty aspect. Is all of
Turns
it's the
down a little
Minecraft
bit.
Fox and the.
No, but so yeah,
The
you're
Fortnite
you basically in a Scott Shelby-esque brawl.
Yeah.
And it's long.
Again,
You're fighting the fuck out of this guy.
And it's not.
then,
Yeah.
there's
Suddenly
another guy.
And maybe another guy.
I think there was.
There
I
may be three, but so
remember at first I was like, how the fuck did this guy get over here after he was just there? And then it's clear there's two. And I was like, oh god, let's keep going.
I'm fighting him off, but she's getting I almost got put through a table. She's getting her face smashed.
I only missed 2 QTEs in this.
I think so. Me
In
too,
this
yeah, two or
in this
three.
like interaction.
I only missed a couple.
Yeah, I only missed 2 because I was like, again, drunk and had smoked a little bit, and I was like, I fucked up again, damn it,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna be able to handle it, and I fucking nailed it because I was ready this time.
Yeah.
And I only missed 2, and she still gets her fucking, she still
She's
gets
thrown
bashed
around.
around.
Yeah,
She gets like
you guys are
thrown
strong.
onto the bed,
But
like,
she fucking-
really
She
hard.
fights
Yeah.
back pretty damn good though.
Yeah,
Throwing the lamp
she-
at
I
the guy.
fucking-
She like lunged on him at one point. It was
Oh,
like,
did
yeah,
you guys
and, like,
stab the guys?
I stabbed
stabbed
both
in the thigh.
and the fucking
Yeah.
legs, and I bashed the one dude. I picked up the lamp and bashed him with like
I
the heavy
missed
end
that.
of it. You
I
missed it.
missed
Oh,
that
that
part.
was
That was a
good.
good one. That was a
I
good
missed one where he threw me like onto the microwave table. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that one fucking
No
that one
kidding,
looked
I
that
missed
one
that
looked
one too.
that one looked like it fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually you stab them both in the thigh and you run to the bathroom and lock the door.
Yes.
Someone comes from behind and cuts your throat.
Just
open.
fucking slits
Yeah.
his head. I was like, oh my god.
Ruthlessly.
And then you wake up.
Then you wake up. But did it get you at
It,
first?
it did get me
Did
at
you think
first.
you
was
fucked up?
Yeah, I was like, God damn,
Mm-hmm.
finally, because like there hasn't really been like a game-ending repercussion yet for fucking stuff.
Not
up.
yet.
Yeah. So I was like, oh wow, this game's serious, and I was like, we're gonna have to redo this. But no,
I was slightly worried that I was gonna accidentally get Scott Shelby shot, and then like he was gonna.
I do
that was
want
gonna be the
to.
end of the
We should
story.
come up with a thing right now, but there are several death scenarios that
Yeah.
won't end the game, but they will end some characters.
wow.
I think we should, if we get those, we should just push through.
Yeah, because I will
We should
admit
commit.
there is one thing. I'm glad we're agreeing to that now because there was one thing that came up later where it was a misinput, and
Misinput?
I immediately
Calm
paused
down.
and went back to main menu and then started that section over.
How dare you? I've had a couple of those.
I
but
had to. I was like I didn't mean to.
I think that's all right. If you didn't get to a death, then it doesn't
Yeah.
count. But I think if you land yourself a death, I think we got to
trying
stick with
to-
it.
yeah.
I will
'Cause it-
from
'cause
now
the
on. I'm
story
going to
does-
fully commit.
Does like go like okay, now we're gonna like work. It doesn't. It's not like a game over death.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not like you have like an Oblivion when you kill like the wrong character.
And I think sticking to that will make our discussion more interesting as we
I
go
agree.
on.
try to do that as
I'll
well.
tell you what the moment was when we get to that section because
I don't think you could have died either way.
It's pretty
But
funny.
I
No,
wanna
no,
hear
I
it.
wouldn't have.
So she wakes up and you're like, oh damn, it was a dream. I think she says, oh
pretty-
shit, it was a dream
Very casual.
to herself.
Then again, I have some horrendously horrific dreams most nights, and I just have to go about my day.
I've had dreams where I've gotten my throat slit.
I don't have night terrors.
That was my night terrors. That was one of the things that would happen to me sometimes. When you get your throat slit in a dream, you do wake up and you kind of feel weird.
Wow,
Like you have there's like a weird residual like burn, like it feels like you got burned a little bit.
Yeah, it's very similar to when I get jerked off in my dreams.
You wake up and you're like, where?
Your dick
It
burns?
feels like there's cum all over me.
Well, no,
It's just
And then-
it's just sweat and piss.
You can't even tell them apart because they're basically the same thing.
So chapter 10, Paparazzi. I think this is named after my favorite.
Lady Gaga song.
Yes.
Paparazzi.
Very well written.
So Ethan is back in his shithole apartment,
Just sitting at the table, fucking depressed.
Sad.
and he's re-examining that letter he got back in chapter Father and
says,
Son. I think it was
"Herm?"
chapter 1 actually.
Yeah, maybe.
What does it mean? Herm?
And he reads the little
He zooms in
poem,
on it. Herm?
and he shakes out the envelope, and he gets a locker ticket, like the one Hassan mentioned.
Yes.
And so he's gonna go to the train station and cash that ticket in.
Go to the police.
Fuck you.
I hear you.
Wow. Really? Maybe you didn't
nothing
see my
tells-
ACAB sign.
Or one of each. It's confusing.
It's like I get it.
I also have my back the blue underwear on, so it's a little conflicting.
back and forth here.
But I don't wash them
Your
as a
kid-
sign of disrespect.
If I got that letter, I would have gone to the police. But the next step in pursuing this letter encourages you, well, indirectly, to not contact the police.
I get it.
Right.
I get it.
But at this point, I would have absolutely like anything.
I think it's the fact that he is having a bit of an identity crisis.
He's worried he is the origami killer.
Because I think he even says to himself at one point, "Am I the origami killer?"
You can, as you're walking to your car, because you leave your house to go get to your car.
Okay, that's what I want to ask about.
Okay.
So, in your front yard, paparazzi like crazy.
Yep.
Tons of them.
Pepperonis all over the place.
So, and he's like, I gotta get to my car, but I don't want to deal with these reporters.
You say pepperonis?
It's a pepperonis.
On my first playthrough, I handled it differently, but on this playthrough, I said, well, what happens? I just walked out and walked through the crowd.
You can walk through the front door?
And everyone's swarming, and you just go, I'm just gotta walk through, and you get to your car.
There's a fake out, though.
A fake out?
You open it, and everyone's like, Mr. Marcus, and like he slams it, and he's just like, oh, fuck. And then you can go to the back if you want to, but then you can just blast through and go and just trudge straight through them.
Yeah.
That's what I chose to do, because I was like, fuck
And this
it.
chapter, if you do that, this chapter is like a minute long.
It ended right there, because you get to your car, and that's it.
You didn't go through the front door, though?
No, I went out the back door.
At which you have to go like a longer path, right?
Yeah, you got to like hop the fence into your neighbor's backyard and then go out from there.
I got lost the first time I did that.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't find the exit.
It only gives you a really quick shot, and it makes it seem at first like it's 2 yards over.
Yeah.
And so it's like I had a hard time, but then you can kind of see your car through the alleyway. So
Right.
it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I felt bad because I wanted to explore the back, because like I didn't that first time that I had the opportunity.
Pretty shitty backyard. There's not
That's
much.
why I wanted to
Did
see
you
it.
sink a basket this time?
I did not. I again ignored the basketball hoop. I'm not a baller. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. You know what I mean?
Michael Jordan.
LeBron James.
I went.
Swoosh.
Bird. Come on, Larry.
I saw Larry
Bird, Larry.
Bird. I saw a Larry Bird clip recently where he was trying to miss a shot. He was just like, "This is an example of how I throw," and he like could not miss the shot. It was funny.
He's very good at basketball.
Him
Very
in his prime
good.
was fucking insane.
Terrible haircut. Really bad haircut.
Doesn't matter. I don't think it.
Look at this fucking guy. Huh? You're shitting on Larry Bird's haircut.
Mine's just long hair with a hat.
Terrible. Terrible.
His is like all fucking
My hair's
weird.
bad, really.
Look at this
Alright.
fucking guy.
It's all right.
Larry Bird's got the best hair in the game. To this day.
To this day.
No, I have no idea what his hair
I don't pay
looks
attention
like.
to
It was a
basketball.
rough look, but it
He
was
just
also the
didn't
70s,
really have a
80s.
haircut. You know what I mean? He just had like shaggy dog
It
look.
was just kind of there, yeah. Come on, man.
Strikes me as the type of guy who could have possibly just gone, I don't know, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
If you
So,
feel
yeah.
like you're an ugly dude, just get a better haircut. You'll be 40% more attractive to people.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I think it's true.
That's self-grooming, self-care tips with Andrew Taylor.
Grooming tips from Andrew Taylor.
Groom yourself. Try
Basically,
it.
Or other people.
You know, or maybe you get like a loud piece of flair to kind of like attract women, and then
Like a hat that's really cool looking.
yeah,
you know what
like
I mean?
I have a hat that has like 10 feathers in it.
Yeah,
cool.
that'll really like you're peacocking. you
Yeah,
know?
and I basically kind of just like when I go up to a girl and I ask them their favorite bird, and I probably have that bird's feather in my hat.
I like to walk up to him and I go, "What's your favorite bird?" It's probably like a parrot because you're dumb and you don't really know a lot of birds. Mine's a tufted titmouse. You want to know why? I love boobs. You got a great set there. You want to go home?
and it works
Every time.
Yeah, that's horrible. What has society done?
Is that a Adult Swim development TV show company, Titmouse?
Yeah, because it's tufted titmouse is a real bird. My mom used to do bird watching.
Oh, it's really
And
boring.
they're a bird that's around
not.
I
here.
used to watch your mom's tits.
Chapter 11, Lexington Station.
It's not true.
The thing that's very funny to
really
me about
good,
this
though.
is
She's a
Ethan.
nice lady.
Ethan's at the front of the train station. This is a class. Have you guys been in a train station like this before?
Yeah, I've been at Grand Central and
Yeah.
What, really?
or like Penn Station.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used
never
to
have
take
It
buses
is
and trains to a lot of
just like
places.
this.
I'm bizarrely like, I think I watched a video about it sometime or some shit, but I was like, they're really cool buildings. Like,
Yeah,
ones
there's
like
also
that.
a lot of like
They're horrible.
homeless people and like piss and shit, and you know what I mean. Like, there's like cool architecture, and then like a guy overdosed by the track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
beautiful,
it's a
man.
big city, you know.
Architecture's great though, yeah.
Yeah,
But it is just like this, and there's a huge crowd. You need to get to the back of the building, and Ethan starts having a panic attack pushing through the crowd,
Yeah.
which was bizarre to me because he had just previously pushed through a crowd where every single person in the crowd was shouting his
Saying
name,
his name, trying to get his attention.
doing flash photography in his face, was like just all up in his shit. And here it's a large crowd of people who couldn't care less.
care.
I don't know if it's
Totally
more
invisible.
that I feel like it was more like that reminded him of the mall. But that was also because because I went straight out the back door.
Right.
I didn't have that previous experience.
It was
but
the same thing as the mall where you're like actually having
But
to like.
everybody's talking to you and yelling at you.
Right.
Whereas at the mall, it's as though you're experiencing this tragedy while everyone's
is more of
just
a one-to-one.
blasé. It's a little more. I thought it was more one-to-one.
Ethan starts seeing a ghostly
Spectre.
vision.
Well,
Yeah.
this is before that. Can we get into the quantum break moment where time freezes?
Well, I thought
That's after.
that's what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what is happening. Oh yeah, sorry. That's that's what triggers you seeing.
Yeah.
Jason.
Well, there's
first
a
you go
quantum.
into the panic and, like,
There's a.
Yeah.
This was a hard, like when he
There,
like,
This was
there's
a hard.
There's a time stutter. Mm-hmm. This was hard.
yeah, like when he first starts going into panic and you have to like hold a series of buttons to like keep him walking.
I just
I
keep
kept fucking that
forgetting.
up.
I keep forgetting that you have to like hold the button sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just kept tapping right bumper, and it was like failed, and I was like, I fucking hit it.
I know.
And then I was like, oh, I have to hold it, and then I got to that again, and then I just tapped it again, and I was like, God damn it!
Eventually,
I fuck up like what seemed to be the easiest one. Like I fell down the fucking muddy hill. You know what I mean? Like,
I fell down the muddy hill when I replayed that chapter.
yeah, it's like, just tumble down.
yeah, I felt like a total moron. Like I was like, and he was like, at one point, did you guys mess up the one where he has to hold his throat to keep breathing?
I didn't mess it up at all, but yeah,
I messed that one up, and he goes, "Caw!" as if he just got shot in the throat. It was really weird,
It
like
does.
comically.
Because that's when I kept messing up because I just hit right bumper instead of holding it. So he's like, God!
This is
turns
like
around.
it's very revealing into Ethan's psyche and how fucked up he is.
But also, can you just imagine a person holding their throat, taking
people are
baby
like-
steps in the
Yeah,
middle?
he's walking like Frankenstein's monster.
And
guess
everybody's
maybe-
just kind of like,
In big metropolis, like
you
metropolises
100% ignore crazy people.
wouldn't see him at all.
You don't-
Yeah. They'd be like, "That's
Right.
You see them,
But like,
but you just go, not my business.
yeah,
yeah. So he there's a time stutter. Everyone freezes, and there's like a ghostly version of Jason walking around with a
This is one of
balloon.
the best parts in the game.
You can reach out and touch that guy, and you're like, and he just
He crumbles. like, he
Every
fucking-
person you touch crumbles.
ragdolls. Yeah, I was doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
was
did you get the
running into
achievement?
that.
No.
I got the achievement
No.
for knocking down I think like 50 or more people.
That's
Oh, okay.
so funny because Steph said, "I wonder if you get an achievement for doing it."
Because I was like, anytime I was near someone, I would purposely be like,
I was
through
ignoring
true-
Jason and only walking
I
into
was
people.
going because it was so funny. I had to put the controller down because I was laughing.
At one point, you bump into what looks like 2 or 3 people, and like 8 people fall. I think it was just like programmed funny.
Yeah.
they are all piled
Oh my
in.
God, that was so
Is this when
fun.
you had sent that message to the group chat that was like, is this a joke game?
Shortly after, yes.
Oh. But no, you
God,
you
what a
once
good
again get to
scene.
go through the great sequence of yelling, Jason!
Jason.
Yeah,
Same
I
audio.
love they brought back the
Same
Jason.
audio.
Jason!
Jason.
And he's just, Dad, where are you? And like,
Help me.
you're like you're like this far from him for
Yeah.
most of it. like,
Eventually, it dissolves. You go in, and you're like,
Made it. I made it. I managed to get through the goddamn crowd.
yes, yes, you did it. I wouldn't call it a success
But also, he wakes up like,
in the fetal
huddled.
position. Yeah.
and I think he feels a little silly. He's like, oh, it is okay.
okay.
Well, anyway, just time to go get my
If he was trying to keep
stuff.
a low profile, he's doing a very bad
Yeah.
job.
There's like a security guard or like a cop guarding the locker area.
Top cop. Yeah, and that was the same black police officer, like character model from. There's 50
Just
of
sitting
them
at the
inside of the police station. Yeah,
And he's just
like
like,
the same guy.
I walked up to him, I got all in his face.
He's like, "Boo,
reaction.
boo, boo."
I was
Like
like,
a
I was
Queen's
like,
night.
you're not allowed to react, are you? Huh? I thought it was Buckingham Palace. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No, but I was,
They
I
can't-
was
they-
hoping he'd be like, sir, what?
Can I help you, sir? Yeah. But no. That is you don't really get any reaction at anybody. Like NPCs.
It depends, yeah. Like I think I sent you guys the photo of him getting up in the couple who was necking in the park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I stood there for like 10 seconds and they were just going at it. And I was
Did
just
you like put your hand on the back of one of their heads, start rubbing their hair like that,
Started
just to
rubbing
see if they notice?
I was like, is this how you start, right?
Do you know where my son is?
Is it it's one of these kind of parks, right?
This is a fuck park.
So I can just get in on this, right? Because that's
So
like the deal.
I'll be honest, finding the locker was a little confusing to me.
It was hard.
The
I got-
numbers didn't seem to make sense.
I got
I
lost.
didn't
Randomly
It's
placed.
not like city blocks where it's like
Yeah, like I
Won
hit
by
17.
West,
Yeah.
I hit 17 and I was like, oh, okay. I'll go to the right
close.
and it was like 19. And I was like, okay, it must be on the other side. Then I went left and it was like 6.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Right.
huh?
I went all the way down, and then I turned left twice, and that's how I got it.
And then this was another one of those moments where like the movement's a little bit clunky because it was hard to like stop at the locker and then look at
Right.
it to interact with it. I kept like going in front of it.
It's
and, like,
impossible
behind it,
to
and I was
explain
fucking-
the controls in this game. Someone who hasn't played it, but
They're very tanky in moments when you don't want them to be. You know what I mean?
Constantly, like as I'm walking by something, it'll show that you can interact with it, and I'll try to turn, but my momentum from walking brings me past it, and then I try to turn around.
And you try to just like turn your head to face it, but you never quite.
Never
You're like,
get it.
when every time you turn your head, you don't just go. You're like,
Yeah, it's really janky.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, can you just fucking focus on it?
no, you can't. But anyway, this chapter ends with you getting the box. You get the box out of the, out of the locker,
What's in
and
it?
it's the same shoebox that Hassan had, same style. And that's the end of that chapter, and also the end of this episode. So we'll be back at it again, following chapters 12 through whatever in the next episode. But for now, any final thoughts on this? And you seem fucking confused, but I did say we'll be shooting 2 episodes.
That was the
I
confusion.
thought it was one.
No, the idea is to, like I said, break it down into 5 or 6 chapters at a time. And we did about 5 or 6 chapters today, just like we did in the first episode. And the next episode, we'll do the same amount.
Yeah, about another 5.
But anything to say about this this chunk of the game?
No,
Any leads on who the killer might be?
no,
I think they're really setting it up to be Ethan, but I think that's way too simple.
no. I don't think it's Ethan at all.
I don't think I'm assuming, unless it's Scott Shelby, which I really hope it's not, and I would be very surprised. I have no idea. No idea who it could be.
I don't think we've seen the killer yet, personally.
The killer in me is the killer in you.
You'll know who the killer is because when they introduce him, there will be a 40-second loading screen where
Of
it's
his
just
giant face.
this. Like, oh, that's the
That
killer.
was
That's gotta
happening
be
when
him.
Steph was watching my heterosexual life partner, Steph. Did we agree that was the?
That's the way to say it. Continue.
No, we agreed that it made no sense.
Continue on what you're saying.
She was like, "Are you doing that?" Like when it was on the loading screen.
Because
it
they're just like,
Now,
And I was like, "No, that's just the
what
loading
they should have
screens."
done was a Mario 64 style thing where you get to like play with their. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. If you're playing Heavy Rain alongside us, please let us know what you're thinking so far. I'd love to hear any insights. No spoilers.
yeah, no fucking spoilers, all right?
And
Spoil it.
we'll see you next time.
Love you.
I've been playing ukulele.
The Bad Banjo-Kazooie remake.